This is your host and host, Neha Chauhan, founder and CEO of Aerobay Experiential Learning Program. And today, in this very special episode, we have a very special person, Ms. Neeti Bhala Saini. Ma'am, welcome to our episode.
Thank you.
You have no idea how excited we are today to have you here. And thank you for taking your time out. And I'm sure our viewers is going to learn a lot from you. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling, ma'am, today?
It's a lovely day, nice and breezy.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, and very interesting sessions have been going on.
Right.
So quite thought-provoking sessions, I should say.
Right. Lovely, ma'am. Ma'am, do you like Goa as a city?
Oh, it's a beautiful city.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite spots whenever I get too stressed out from work. So why not take a little vacation here and come back? Important person in the world of education. We've heard a lot about you. I want to know because you've been not only in terms of a certain position, but also a very strong, powerful women who's been part of, such a big hierarchy system. I want to know from you, is there any secret to your success?
I think there are two things in life. One is consistency,
Right.
that you continue to do what you're doing. And the other secret is love your job.
Yeah.
Enjoy what you do. And if you really do enjoy what you do, then there's nothing stops you from success. Nothing stops you from growth. And honestly, I may be a principal in a school, but hardcore in my heart, I'm an educator. And I'm learning every day. I learn each day.
Yeah. That is absolutely correct. We learn every single day from our day-to-day experiences and the jobs we are in. Ma'am, this question I always wanted to ask you personally. So I am an aerospace engineer by qualification. When I came back to India, we wanted to do something in the field of education related to experiential learning program, and we work with school. So many parents, they come to me and they ask me this question, that how could I ensure that my child has a right kind of skill set which can actually directly impact their future career opportunities. What should I suggest to those people, those confused parents and students who are still, figuring it out?
I had heard this video a long time ago by Sir Ken Robinson, and they said that if you want your children to create, if you want your children to explore and be inquirers and be researchers, get out of their way.
Right.
He said this to the parents. And that just stuck with me. Initially, it was quite a thing which came to and hit me so hard, saying that how can he say that to the parents that get out of their way? But I realized the more we do things for them, and what he meant exactly was, the more you do things for your children, the less they will learn. So you've got to let them experience, explore, experiment, and grow with that learning. You've got to provide them with those opportunities. Today's times, the parents have become so conservative, so possessive about their children. Whatever their children are doing, they want to do it for them.
Right.
And I just heard the speaker saying that, you let your child bear some pain. Of course, you've got to let them try it hard. They have to learn it the hard way. And it's better they learn the hard way when you are there to console them, when you're there to put that medicine on their wounds.
Right.
If they have to learn the hard way when you're not around and when they are all by themselves in the world, it's going to be very difficult. So if parents want their children to learn the right skills, they have to let their children experience, explore, and experiment.
Right.
And do that themselves. Don't do things for your children.
Right.
Don't tell everything what needs to be told to your children.
Right.
Let them ask those questions. Get them to explore whatever they're asking and do those things by themselves. As parents, we want to do everything. We want the world for our child.
Yeah.
And we don't let them experience the skills. And then we say, how do we get those right skills in our children? Let them experience it. Get out of their way.
There is
what
no
I
shortcut to that. You can't give them a set
There's no
curriculum.
capsule that you can just tell them every morning, with the vitamin pills, you give them the skill pill and say that, oh, there's no pills for that.
Right.
They have to do it.
They have to do it. They have to experience
No
themselves.
pain, no gain.
So all the parents who are listening to today's podcast, what ma'am mentioned is absolutely right. We have to give our children some form of freedom.
Yes.
Right?
Be around, guide them what needs to be done, but let them do those things themselves. Let them make their mistakes. Let them fall and get up again.
Right.
Be around when they fall and when they're getting up to say, it's okay, you fell down. Find a new way. They will have failures.
Right.
The world is not easy. And we're not born without failures. You and I, whatever we've done, you did your aerospace. Did you really do it in the first go? I didn't do what I do today.
No,
in the first go.
no.
We
do
had
not
to
at
learn
all.
it with failures. We
Right.
had to try out different ways.
Right.
Today's children, if they fail once, they're like, oh, I'm not going to do this. Let me change the 9. And parents let them do that.
Right.
They say, oh, you can't do it. Let's do something else. Oh, you can't do this. Let's do that. Let them
Right.
be consistent. Let them be resilient in trying and trying a couple of times
Right.
before they give up.
Absolutely. Man, parent also has this fear factor. And I think that's the reason they put so much of pressure also on the student, that if either you clear, entrance and competitive, and for the rest of the student, if you can actually afford it, maybe you go out of the India and you study. For rest of the student who are not able to make in either of those pathways, so parents get really worried about, because apparently there are so many universities out there. And I've seen this constant case scenario, when we hire students from normal university, they come back from there. Like we had a case, there was this student, he did 5 years of mechanical engineering. First day he comes to me and he tells me, ma'am, I don't know how to use drill machine. Right? I mean, it's obviously not his or her fault. What do we do, ma'am, about this whole process? It's like the system is demanding us, like either we be too good at it. If we are not, then what do we do?
You're talking about two very
Right.
different things, yet very connected things. You're
Right.
talking about the education system, which is not providing them with the right skills, which is giving
Right.
them a lot of knowledge, but not the right skills to be
Right.
able to use that knowledge. So our Indian education system, or the education system by and large, but more so in India, gives you a big toolbox of 20
Right.
tools, but they don't tell you how to use it. So that's why
Right.
precisely your student did not know how to use that machine, whichever was there.
Right.
Because everything was so theoretical.
Right.
There was very little about experiences, and that's where the NEP is talking so hugely about experiential learning for the students, especially right from school age, that move away from books. Don't just be focused on books. Are one of the ways of learning.
Right.
And the other part that you're saying that, how do you guide the parents in terms
Yeah.
of, saying that what are the choices, career choices? I think the career choices have become so vast. I can't say that for you, you're very young, but when I went to school, we only had 2 lines or 3 lines. You could go to medicine, you could do engineering, and if
Yes.
you didn't do anything else, what is she going to do? She's a girl, she's going to be a teacher.
Yeah.
I became a teacher by choice. I
Right.
did not become a teacher because I didn't do anything else. I became
Right.
a teacher because I wanted to be a teacher.
Right.
I tried different things and I said, no, my heart lies in teaching. Because I
Right.
had initially taught. And I thought that's one career where I feel most excited, most. So are we giving those opportunities to our students right in the young ages to experience different career options? So
Right.
that's where the whole concept of schools having industry interface comes in, where the different industries can come in and, do internships for students, where they get exposure to different areas.
Internships are important.
Yeah, and then they know right in school that that's one career option that I think I should go for.
Right.
That's something that my heart lies towards,
Right.
and I'm going to pursue it. So
Right.
they will do a job which they love, and they will enjoy doing that job.
Exactly. So it means they'll have an exposure during their school time.
Absolutely.
So they'll be able to choose based on their skill rather than just the
And not
percentage.
everybody then should be running after the entrances and
Right.
there's such liberal art courses. There's such diverse things which have
Right.
come in. Back in the days, if I had them, I would have chosen very different diverse subjects.
Right.
I wouldn't have gone with very traditional subject areas. Now the children have this opportunity, and I think they should be allowed to explore, and
Right.
schools should open that as part of their career orientation program for
Right.
students.
Ma'am, I read it somewhere. The world doesn't need more engineers; it needs more creative people. What are your thoughts on it?
That's a very powerful thing. So my son did mechanical engineering, and when
Okay.
he was wanting to do engineering, he and my husband kept telling him, I think you shouldn't do engineering.
Right.
And you should pursue something else. He's very
Right.
creative. And I said, you should pursue something creative arts. He's very good in dramatics and debates
Right.
and all. He said, what kind of parents are you both? You don't want me to be an engineer. The world thinks that their son and daughters and
Yeah.
should only be
Like
engineers.
I
and
did
doctors."
engineering because my father wanted it. To
And
be
he
very
said, "What are you-"
honest.
I said, because I know you're not going to work in that field. So he
Right.
did his engineering, finished it. Today he's working in a consulting firm.
Right.
He's doing very well for himself.
Right.
And had he not done engineering and had he done something creative, he would have even still worked in that firm.
Right.
But he would have not spent those years.
those years doing.
That's one part of it.
Right.
But you don't need engineers. You do need
Yes.
engineers who are creative. So you need
that
creativity.
will be a powerful combination.
Right? You need creativity.
Right.
You've always needed creativity. They say that need is or necessity is the mother of invention.
Right.
When you have the need, that's when you start thinking creatively and you create things. I
Right.
also say that creativity leads to diverse thinking. Creativity leads to inventions, more and more
Right.
inventions. And that is why you need creativity. Be a teacher, to be anybody. So creativity is a skill that is needed. So you don't need more creative people. You need creativity in everybody.
In every domain.
career. Yes, every
Right.
domain.
It doesn't have to be one specific
Yes.
thing. No matter which domain you are in, you need to be very, very
Yes,
creative
absolutely.
to think out of the box.
Yeah.
Absolutely, ma'am. Ma'am, you know, I've seen a pattern like us girls, when we were in school, we were really good in science and maths and, almost the top scorer of it. And so many girls, they're participating in science. But as we go little bit in higher education, that ratio drops down. Like and it's not just an Indian problem, it's a global problem. Like when I was in London, in my class of 800 engineering students, there are only 5 girls.
Yeah.
Why is that? Like,
I'm also struggling. So I'm a
Right.
principal of an all-girls school, Mayo College Girls
Right.
School. And when I look at the number of girls who take in sciences versus
Yeah.
number of girls who are taking in humanities, and
right,
I see science really falling down.
right.
And I continue to figure this out, that why
Right.
is that so? But I think probably the girls are finding more career opportunities in terms of in the fields of humanities or in accounting and things like that, rather than being only in sciences. But the data within India shows something
Right.
else. If you go to our
Right.
own ISRO centers,
Right.
the topmost scientists are all women.
The
and there
girls
are
are
more
coming
women
out,
scientists
yes,
in that part of the place. When our own
Right.
rockets were launched, and especially the rover that was sent up,
Right.
all the people manning that whole project and
Right.
everything was
Right.
larger number of women were the ones who were
Right.
managing it. So yeah, there is a section of the society where you will still have more girls and women going in for sciences. But having said that, I think a lot of business and business background families and even from the professional background families,
Right.
there are more girls who are moving towards the corporate side.
Right.
So the attraction towards law has increased, the attraction towards the commerce subject areas,
Right.
humanities, that's increasing more for
Right.
them.
Exactly.
And science.
And ma'am, I also see like slowly earlier there were very less women in like especially in terms of entrepreneurship. But when we went to Shark Tank India season 1, like I grew up watching it. And when I presented there, 60% of the startup was led by women.
Yeah.
That was such a
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that when I was young, the options were science or science was the option. That was the thing that everybody took.
right.
And if you took commerce or humanities, you will look down upon that. You know, the
Yes,
child is
yes.
either not intelligent,
Yeah.
या पढ़ाई नहीं करती है, या
Right.
करता है. So,
हाँ.
every parent said science ही लेनी है. उसके बाद whatever you do, you've got to be focused. But the options, you yourself have said this, the
Right.
option, the variety of opportunities that are available have really changed and increased.
Right.
So why not experience in all those areas? So probably
Yeah.
that's where the number of girls in science are decreasing, because they want to be explorers and they want to explore more opportunities.
Girls are finding their own strength. They don't have to go
And
to
they're
the
writing their
traditional-
own career paths.
Yes, yes.
They are.
Absolutely, ma'am.
And look at yourself. You did
Right.
your engineering,
Yes.
aerospace engineering, and now you've written your own path. So
Right.
girls are doing that.
Yes, yes, absolutely, ma'am. And that's what I always try to do in the company because we work around the STEM field. I try to, even because fresher when we hire all those aerospace mechanical, so parents are little worried about it. They say, कि अच्छा मैम अभी धूप में plane उड़ाना पड़ेगा and all that. But I tell them कि you show that trust, they're capable enough. Right, because they've made it so far. We need little bit of support. We are very empathetic in nature. So why not?
Yeah.
Right? Ma'am, on that note, I want to ask, we see so many, like in through media and newspaper and everything, like, for example, Elon Musk is planning to set Tesla in India. Mark Zuckerberg came and we saw this new image of young India. And yet there is equal amount of people who want to go abroad, right? Not necessarily for education, they just want to run away, right?
Yeah.
They're like Canada settle ho jate hai, all that. Ma'am, what are your thoughts on of it? Like young India perspective also and the people still...
I'm one of those guilty parents whose son
Right.
doesn't stay here. He
Right.
studied in University of Waterloo.
Right,
And why I say guilty parent, yes, my son, and now he's settled in Canada.
right,
But I think when 8 years ago his time was to go, we realized the number of choices that were
Yeah.
here,
That is
versus the
limited.
number of choices which were
Yes.
presented to him as
Yes.
the world being the canvas were huge outside. A.
Yes.
B, the competition. The nation that we are in and the number of people who are applying for that post
Very
or that competitive exam is
right.
vast. And it's becoming cutthroat, and with this. So-
Right.
And he said, you know what, do you want me to study in the best top 50 universities? Or you want me to study in something between 200 to 300? Full regards to our institutes and all, they're fabulous. But we chose something where there would be less competition and yet it was ranked really high.
Exactly.
So I think as a parent, this is my thought on it.
Right.
We need to stay here.
Right.
Children need to, our own prodigies need to be in the country. But there need to be more opportunities. for them.
Exactly.
And the opportunities are shrinking
very
so
less.
fast that it's becoming challenging. And while the world is open for them. So I think that's
Right.
an easy way which children are taking and parents are taking to send their children.
Right.
I'm a guilty parent, I'm saying that
Right.
openly.
No, ma'am, I
As an
absolutely
educator, I don't
agree
want my
with it.
children to leave the country, but I know if they have more opportunities overseas,
Right.
they will go then.
Right, because we
better.
still have, because even though India is developing, we still have limited choices available.
And you've studied overseas.
Ah.
You've studied in UK.
Yes.
You will compare the program that you went through and the
Yes.
kind of experiential learning you had in your engineering
very
versus
different.
what is would happen here. It's diverse. I mean,
Right.
the kind of machinery, the kind of labs these young undergrad program students get to explore
Right.
and experience. It blew my mind away. I thought I want to go back to university and
Right,
study.
right.
That was how
In
it
my
was.
college, ma'am, so we were studying about engines. Ford company had set up a lab here. It was that advanced.
Exactly.
Here,
precisely.
when we go to higher student, they don't even have proper labs. They might have some few things here and there. Some
Precisely
old
my point.
CNC machine and not working. So it's what do we do? We have to find an opportunity and
Yeah, so
maybe-
he worked over 5 years in the project, and which was set up, and about $500,000 of
Right.
grant was provided to that lab which he was
Right.
working in, which was managed by students, senior students, and
Oh.
everybody. It was done by GM Motors.
GM
And-
Motors, yes.
And they were working on a battery-operated car, which would be a hybrid car, but and
Right.
trying to test the speed of that car. That
Right.
could that car become a car which could be taken into your F1 racing and all.
Right.
That kind of testing was being done.
Right.
I mean, the lift, the car would
Right.
go up, and I went to that tiny little space that he was working in. So
Right.
it was amazing. I was,
Right.
and I said, "Wow, this is what you worked in late in the night."
Yeah, and
That
having
is-
experienced those kind of things, we'll never forget it for rest of
Absolutely.
our life. Say it until unless you go to very big industry.
True.
The
That's
college is giving you exposure, so why not? Ma'am, there is so much of, after national education policy is out, the school innovation policy was out. Then they mentioned some 25, 30 different skill. They've mentioned so many different words, design thinking, experiential learning, entrepreneurial skill, vocational skill. So many people, they're still confused about it. If you could explain to all our viewers, not only student, parents, even to the principals who are watching you, in a very simple word, what exactly it stands for, how can exactly we can take it and implement it properly in the school so that student can have the
so talk about the NEP.
NEP, ma'am.
It's a fantastic document. It has to be studied and it has to be interpreted in the right form. So
Right.
what is the problem is that when we study it, each one has their own interpretation of that
Right.
document. When they say 10 bagless days,
Right.
it doesn't mean that the students will come to school without a bag and you'll give them worksheets for activities. I'm just taking one
Okay.
example. 10 bagless days means that you have to create those 10 days in a year where students have experiences, which can count students going on camping trips for 4 days,
Right.
where they're learning life skills, or 3 days. Students going to different industries to see what is happening.
Right.
Students going on field trips, field visits, all those count as your 10 bagless days. And
Okay.
schools need to provide those opportunities for the students.
Huh.
10 bagless days also include calling the local artisans to come into your school and give
Right.
exposure to students, right?
Right.
So that is one of those examples. Again, entrepreneurship and the skills that you need to develop. A lot was discussed yesterday.
Right.
To my mind, I think entrepreneurship is something which helps you to be a risk-taker. It
Right.
helps you to go beyond your comfort zones and try something new, because you did that. You could have
Right.
easily gone ahead and taken a job which would have been the
Right.
easy way out, which would have been the straight way out, but you chose to get into a startup
Right.
and do what you wanted to do. So it has to do with the ability of each individual. So are we teaching them those abilities to think out of the box, to take those risks? And if you're asking me to sum up the whole document, I think
Right.
it's like it'll take days to sum
Days
it
to
up.
sum
It's a
up.
fantastic document, but the
Right.
whole thought that they've looked at to say that for me, it's experiential learning for students, making students empowered to take right decisions for themselves. There was discussion on discipline. Of course, they need to be self-disciplined. Nobody else needs to discipline them. But a self-discipline aspect needs to come in their lives. And that's when they become responsible. So that aspect is ingrained where it's talking about the value systems. The NEP is talking about the value systems. You get into do backless days. So that's again more experiences that they're getting. Then they're looking at the creative skills. Very important. So everybody's talked about thinking skills. Everybody talks about, all the communication skills and all. The NEP is focusing a lot on creativity, a lot on creative skills. So we all know that the right and the left side of the brains function differently. People who are logical minded are not as creative. But if I know that I'm not so creative, then why not indulge in something where I can do more creative pursuits? So that's why the co-curricular or the so-called extracurricular is no more extracurricular. It should be part of your curriculum.
Should be mandatory.
So for example, if you're learning something in English and there's a poem, can you create that poem into a song? So there your music comes in and, can you compose it into a song or can you write it? So things like that integration of subjects, we need to come in. It should not be standalone. See, subjects, in school, we learn subjects in physics, maths, chemistry, English, bio, history and all that. But when we are faced in life with problems, these subjects come handy. Our knowledge, what we've learned in every subject comes handy. And that's when we solve those problems of life. And life has only two things. You create problems, you solve problems.
You solve problems.
Right? Those are the two motives of everybody's life.
Yes.
You live your life through by creating problems and solving them.
Problems.
So if you have to, at the end goal is to solve problems, then you need to use all your subject areas. You can't just be using your mathematical skills and saying, I'm a mathematician, I can only do this much. When you are faced with a problem, you will use all your skills. You will also say historically what happened. You will also need. So that's where the interdisciplinarity of subjects is important. Don't teach them in their silos. Bring them together. So these are some of the crux that the NEP is talking about. And that's my take on it, that their interdisciplinary subjects should not be taught as a subject. But it should be taught as a wholesome learning experience where all subjects come together, all teachers work together to help students learn through that wholesome experience.
Ma'am, I think you have explained it in such a nice and easy manner that it's not just about studying in silo, it's an interdisciplinary approach and, being creative in all the different domain and the poem example which you mentioned. I mean, I never thought about it. I think that could be a next task we can give to our students also. Ma'am, one last message which you would like to give to all our viewers, to youth of India who still, building their career. What can they do, to shape their career beautifully? How can they contribute back? How could they give back and, become a very good person? Success or doesn't success? I mean, that's a later story.
I want to say so many things to them. But I think something which resonates with me all the time, we talk about the IQ. We talk about the EQ all the time, your intellect quotient, the emotional quotient. Two more quotients that I've been passionately pursuing. One is adversity quotient. Challenge yourselves, go take that challenge, push yourselves. Life is difficult and try and find solutions to that difficult life. So AQ is something that should become a part of your life. And the last quotient that I very recently read about and I thought, wow, that's something that should be part of our lives is HQ, happiness quotient.
Right.
Try and find happiness in the things that you do. And I think your life will start becoming more and more beautiful. You'll start enjoying what you do more and more in life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's lovely having a conversation with you. And I wish in future I could get more time to speak with you and get to know more.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.